David Thompson's new book is called simply Thai Street Food, but I can tell you there is nothing simple about it. Sumptuous might be a better word. David, welcome to Radio National Breakfast.
Thanks, Fran.
David, Thai street food, what is it?
It's the most accessible of all aspects of Thai cooking. The moment you land in Bangkok, the moment you walk through one of the streets, you realise that it's all about the food. You know, I now live there with Tanonsek, my partner. We've been living there roughly about 6 months in every year for the last 10 years. 8 years maybe. And every time we go there, I just keep on thinking as I land, or rather as I walk through the streets, it's more like restaurant corridors than actually public thoroughfares, because stall after stall fills the street with hungry customers rather than slow-moving cars.
Generally, though, is there a difference between what you describe in your book as Thai street food than Thai restaurant food?
Yep. There are two strands to Thai cooking. The first one is a Han Gap Khao, which is the traditional Thai food, and it's the food you're most likely to find in Thai restaurants. And that is the food that was prepared at home or amongst Thais themselves. It's the standard stuff like curries, soups, salads, relishes, stir-fries, etc., etc. They are all, several dishes are served around the same time, eaten with rice. And they're meant to be shared. So you have the curries or whatever's in front of you, you have a plate of rice in front of you, you take from the shared dishes, mix that with the rice, and you eat it leisurely, chatting, enjoying, eating. Whereas street food is very different, and you don't come across it that much in Australian restaurants as far as I know. Australian Thai restaurants, I mean. And that is single plate food, a han jandia, where you have like some fried rice or some fried noodles or a noodle soup, where it's one plate that you have in front of you that is not shared with anybody else unless you've got a sneaky partner, boyfriend or girlfriend who pilfers hungrily.
And you sort of rave about the tastes of Thai street food, or the food you eat on the street, find on the street at Bangkok. I must say, when I've visited Asian cities, I've only been to Bangkok once, and I walked around the corner and there was an impromptu food market, cooking market set up. I was too nervous to eat it because it smelled a bit, there's fish and meat and everything. I thought I might get sick. How safe is it generally? How clean
Very safe.
Is it?
I've been eating on the streets. I've been living on the streets effectively for the last 25 years, and I think I might have been sick once or twice the whole time that I've been in Thailand, and I think both times was due to something I ate in a restaurant proper as opposed to a street stall. Because one of the things that happens, friends, at least in Thailand, and we can talk about street food elsewhere in a moment, but at least in Thailand, is that they have an agreeably languid approach to their business. They prepare only enough for the day, and they want to run out, because then they get on with the business of living. They're not there, they don't work to live, they don't live to work, they work to live. And so once they've sold enough food, if they're a vendor, once they've sold enough food to make enough money to live, then they're happy.
So the food's not hanging around for days?
No, and so they'll go to the market each and every morning. They'll prepare the food for that day, and once it's sold out, then it's gone. But the other thing, Fran, is that the markets that they use have fresh ingredients, where the shallots or the coriander or the ginger, the garlic or whatever it might be.
The fish and the meat?
The fish and the meat were either in the paddies, in the fields, in the ponds the day before. So they're fresh. Or indeed, even in the markets of Thailand, the fish and the prawns are still alive and kicking before they're dispatched a moment before they're sold.
So, David, you are a celebrated chef. You're a celebrated chef in London. You had celebrated restaurants here in Australia before you moved to London. You're about to open one in Thailand. Are you for real here? Are you really telling me that you, who could eat in the best restaurants in the world, really choose a street market more often than not?
When in Thailand, certainly. Absolutely, certainly. One of the ironies of Bangkok is that it's not really a great restaurant city, at least for Thai food. I'm hard-pressed, apart from one or two exceptions, to be able to give you a good restaurant's name. Yeah, there are some decent ones, but not great ones, whereas I'm more confident of getting better food, or rather food with greater integrity of taste, and in the streets or in the markets, or in the countryside of Bangkok.
And what is it that you love about Thai food? Do you have a sentence for that?
It tastes bloody good. I think it's as straightforward as I can be. It has a venerable tradition. It has a heritage of elegant cooking from palaces to markets. It has sophisticated technique. It has a diverse array of ingredients that can stagger. But ultimately, it tastes bloody good. And that's what has enthralled me from the start and continues to enthrall me as I take a spoonful of something and my head automatically, unconsciously nods with pleasure.
It tastes so good, it's pretty much exported around the world. You find Thai restaurants pretty much everywhere. You find hundreds of them. I mean, there's almost hundreds of them around the suburb that I live. Is this Thai food as you know it? Have we dumbed it down?
One of the big faults of the Thais, and they have quite a few faults having lived with them for quite a while, but the biggest fault of all is that they're too polite. They're too polite, which means that from a kitchen's point of view, they will often alter their food because they think Westerners in particular are less likely to be able to enjoy the somewhat extreme, bizarre flavours that can be part of traditional, authentic food. And that's a great shame because what they're catering to is that understanding of Westerners a generation or two ago. And so very often chilies are removed or some of the more unusual ingredients are taken out because they think Westerners won't accept it. But there's an increasingly demanding and discriminating and accepting public that will eat more authentic food. Thai restaurateurs haven't yet entirely caught up with that.
The recipes in your cookbook are quite complex. There are some ingredients that I'm not necessarily familiar with. Do you worry about that, creating a cookbook where it might not be easy for people to get their hands on the ingredients?
My responsibility, as far as I understand, is really to report what it's meant to be. And then in the first book that I wrote, that silly pink book of mine, there were alternatives given, but I felt responsible and it was important to actually write down what the traditional recipe was, what the authentic recipe was. The same with this one too. But because this newer book is of the streets, the ingredients are far more accessible and you're more likely to find all the ingredients necessary in Australia than in any other book that I've been involved in.
David, this latest book is huge. It's a very big book, a very heavy book. It's got recipes. It's also got incredible photographs of street life. Just tell us a little bit about that decision to have so much photographic material in this book, make it a picture book as much as a recipe book.
Earl's photographs are luscious and evocative. They transport you there without question. He's managed to capture Thailand, its markets and its food in a way that my verbosity never really can.
You're not worried that your book, this latest book, is so beautiful that you might be loath to take it to the kitchen and get it all dirty? I wreck my cookbooks.
Yes, well, that's fine because you see, the thing is that once you take it in the kitchen once or twice, once it's had its first splattering or second splattering, then the same regard for it won't be. It won't be banned from the kitchen. In fact, it'll be only allowed in the kitchen itself because it'll be too messy after that.
You've started up a number of restaurants. What's next for David Thompson?
There's another restaurant that's coming up in Bangkok, Fran. Why I'm doing it, I don't know. In the sense of I'm excited by the prospect of actually cooking in Bangkok, actually having access to some of the markets and some of the more difficult ingredients or unusual ingredients to actually cook some fantastic stuff. But the prospect of a new restaurant is daunting because of its hard, heavy work and its mind-numbing chaos.
And the biggest challenge might be making it good enough to entice people off the streets, out of those street markets.
I don't think I
doors.
can possibly do that, but I'm hoping to lull bring a few Westerners into eating some Thai food, I've got to say. And there's a few other things I'll continue to write. As I start to get older, my knees get creakier and my mind gets looser. I'll probably start to string a few sentences together to write another book or two.
No TV shows?
No, I don't think so. No. I think TV shows are possibly good for some, but not for me.
David Thompson, thanks very much for joining us on Breakfast.
Thank you.